I mean, it was something that Al was going to do a long, long time ago. He was going to make this film. And then time passes, so he called me and he said, John, I think you should try it. I think you should direct this film. I was like, what?
Johnny Depp's career isn't luck, it isn't just talent, and it definitely isn't accidental. It's a calculated dance with power. Legal power, media power, public perception power. Every controversy that was supposed to bury him somehow became part of his mythology. Tonight, we're not just revisiting the headlines. We're breaking down the mechanics. How a Hollywood outsider built a persona strong enough to survive scandal. How the courtroom became a stage. And how the very fires meant to destroy his legacy helped forge it into something harder to erase. This is not just about Johnny Depp. This is about power, narrative control, and the art of surviving modern Hollywood. Before the scandal, before the trials, Johnny Depp built something far more valuable than fame. He built an archetype. In the early 1990s, when Hollywood rewarded polished leading men, Depp chose something different. Edward Scissorhands, a silent, wounded misfit with blades for hands. Not a traditional hero, not masculine in the conventional sense. Vulnerable, alien, outsider. That choice wasn't random. It established a pattern. Ed Wood, Donnie Brasco, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Time and again, Depp played characters on the margins. Misunderstood, eccentric, rebellious against systems of power. And then came Captain Jack Sparrow. What could have been a standard pirate role became something subversive, slurred speech, unpredictable movement, flamboyant ambiguity. Disney expected a rogue hero. Depp delivered a rock star trickster. Here's the strategic brilliance. By constantly playing outsiders, he positioned himself as separate from Hollywood's polished elite. He wasn't the golden boy, he was the anomaly. So when future controversies came, the public perception didn't feel like a fall from grace. It felt like rebellion, and rebellion is easier to defend than hypocrisy. The Maverick mythos wasn't accidental, it was armor. Every major star experiences dips. After the initial Pirates explosion, Depp's box office consistency began to waver. Films underperformed, critics grew sharper. The eccentric genius narrative started turning into self-indulgent. And this is where many careers quietly decline. But Depp's pattern is different. He doesn't chase mainstream validation during downturns. He retreats, then resurfaces through carefully selected creative alliances. Collaborations with directors who reinforce his artistic credibility, European projects, music appearances, art exhibitions. Instead of begging Hollywood for relevance, he reinforces his outsider credibility. Then controversy hits. Studios distance themselves. Franchises remove him. Headlines explode. Yet notice what happens during each so-called collapse. His fan engagement intensifies. Support solidifies globally, particularly outside traditional Hollywood media ecosystems. This isn't passive survival, it's repositioning. In modern celebrity culture, polarization can be more powerful than universal approval, and Depp's team appears to understand this dynamic deeply. Then came the trials. What began as legal conflict evolved into a global media spectacle. But here's the deeper layer. The courtroom became a narrative battlefield. In previous eras, legal disputes happened behind closed doors. This one unfolded live. Clips, memes, commentary, reaction channels. Millions weren't just observing, they were participating. Every testimony became content. Every cross-examination became viral currency. For Depp, the trial functioned as something unprecedented, a public reintroduction. For weeks, audiences watched him speak, joke, react, tell stories. Not through press interviews, not through studio PR, but unfiltered courtroom footage. Whether intentional or not, the legal strategy intersected perfectly with digital culture.
I don't have much further need for Hollywood myself. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, I think it's a very strange, funny time where everybody would love to be able to be themselves, but they can't because they must fall in line with the person in front of them. You want to live that kind of life? I wish you the best. I'll be on the other side somewhere.
Public perception shifted dramatically. He wasn't just a defendant. He became a symbol of defiance, of artistic individuality, of resistance to cancellation in the eyes of supporters. And this is where things become historically significant. The courtroom didn't just decide legal outcomes, it reshaped cultural narratives. Here's the question critics keep asking. How does he remain relevant? Why hasn't the controversy erased him? The answer lies in brand architecture. Johnny Depp is not just an actor, he is a myth. The misunderstood artist, the rock star actor, the poetic outsider battling institutions. That narrative has been consistent for over 30 years. Controversy, instead of breaking that myth, often reinforces it. Supporters see attacks as confirmation of his outsider status. Opposition intensifies loyalty. And globally, fan communities operate independently of traditional media approval. In the digital era, studios no longer fully control relevance. Audiences do. And Depp's audience is emotionally invested, not just in his films, but in his story. That level of parasocial loyalty is rare. It becomes a shield. So what does this mean long-term? Johnny Depp's career represents something bigger than one man's scandals. It highlights a shift in power. Celebrity used to depend on institutional approval. Studios, press, awards. Now it depends on narrative control and audience allegiance. Depp's combination of outsider persona, high-profile legal theater, global fan mobilization, strategic artistic retreats, creates a feedback loop of resilience. He becomes harder to erase because erasing him fuels the myth. But there's a deeper societal layer. His story sits at the crossroads of cancel culture debates, redemption arcs, and digital tribalism. To some, he represents survival against false narratives. To others, he represents the danger of celebrity immunity. That tension keeps him culturally alive. And here's the final paradox. The very controversies meant to silence him may have cemented his legacy as one of the most discussed figures of his generation. Not just for roles, but for narrative warfare. Johnny Depp's career was never linear. It was volatile, unpredictable, chaotic. But chaos, when navigated strategically, can become myth-making. He didn't just survive scandal, he absorbed it into his legend. And in modern Hollywood, that might be the most powerful move of all. The question isn't whether he'll work again. The question is, what role will he play next, on screen and in culture? Because one thing is certain, the outsider is still standing.